Hello, I'm doing another series with the All Weezer album series. I'm gonna do the All Newfound Glory series because basically I don't have all the Weezer CDs yet. I have two more to get, but I want to keep my reviews going because I want to start being noticed for them a little bit. I know I don't have anything fancy to show. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Um, but I'm sorry if you're like offended that I'm not reviewing the Weezer ones right now, and I will. I'd love to. I want to go through every Weezer album, but I can't do that right now. But I do have all the Newfound Glory albums, and they definitely show some growth as well. So today I'm going to review the first album, Nothing Gold Can Stay. I love the cover. It's really nice. It gives you kind of an old school feeling because Nothing Gold Can Stay is a quote from the movie The Outsiders, which is a great film. It's kind of cool. I like the pamphlet. You get to see the band, when they're younger. Because obviously, if you buy this album, other than the year it came out, when you're just trying out bands and stuff, you're just kind of like a big Newfound Glory fan, and I am. But the only thing about this album before I start in is it's a good album, but it is not mixed and mastered except for like the instruments and maybe some songs. And maybe some songs are, but the vocals are not mixed, so they're a little rough on the album. Some songs for the better, some songs for the worse. But you start off with the song Hit or Miss, and this is the before recorded version of the self-titled album. I'm not going to lie, this version is not real great. It's not that it sounds like crappy quality, it's just Jordan must have been really young when this came out or sick because his vocals were not only kind of high and squeaky, they were kind of off. I mean, Hit or Miss, it's pretty much, your standard pop punk song. It's got a catchy chorus and it kind of thrives through the whole song. But the thing is, his voice is so shrill in this version. The only reason I could ever even get into this version is it's interesting to hear, like the comparison, you know? But it's also a really good way to start off the album. It Never Snows in Florida. I'm actually a really big fan of this one because the verses got like a really cool beat to it, and then the song picks up and gets kind of fast, and it's one of those songs with like what I like to call a verse chorus, where the chorus is pretty much a change during the verse, and that's basically what you get. You've got a friend in Pennsylvania. Oh, It Never Snows in Florida. I'm sorry. This one's a really nice song. This carries get you kind of started on the album. Like if you got past Hit or Miss, you could already tell this album has better to offer than just that version. And it's a great song, don't get me wrong. But when Jordan recorded this, he must have been sick because he's done a lot better vocals on on this album. Third and Long. Honestly, this song's pretty good, but it's kind of just your standard, really fast, hard-hitting punk song with like the same drum beat throughout the whole song to keep it fast. And this is like the song they played live off this album, like kind of like when a band plays their old songs, and people are like, "Oh, one old song," and there's usually that one song that they play a lot. That's their old song, and it's that one. I kind of see why, because it's fast and fun, but it's not one of the more notable tracks on this album. But it definitely keeps the feel alive. You Got a Friend in Pennsylvania. Okay, the guitars come in badass on this song, and they're really nice and complimenting. And the verse is really, really good too. It's got that kind of old school punk pop feel to it, the 97, where it's just kind of like double tracked vocals. And there's really not much to say for the chorus. It's a small chorus, but the song's really nice. And it's one of the more notable tracks on this record. You've Got a Friend in Pennsylvania. It's super nice. I hope you like this one. The Blue Stare. Actually, the first song I heard from this record, I won't count Hit or Miss because I first heard that like self-titled, and then I heard that because I just like saw it on the suggestions. But the Blue Stare is kind of really cool. It's got like kind of like a cool palm mute part and like a big chorus, and it's just really cool. And it's kind of the first one I heard, but there's not really that much to say about it other than it's a standout track. Because most of these songs are kind of like, I'm not saying they all sound the same, but they all have the same idea of, fast punk pop. This is an old school pop punk album. It's not for the people who like, all of their shit well produced. And I like most of my stuff well produced, but this is another exception. Twos and Threes. actually really like this one, mostly because of the riffing and the chorus is big, and you just kind of get into a mood with this song, twos and threes, and it's really memorable because of the riffs and instruments. The vocals are pretty much doing the same, like big, whiny kind of vocal, like the other songs are doing, but this really helps the feel of the album, and it's got an interesting name. I mean, Tall Tale Heart. It's actually really, that's the next one, Tall Tale Heart. It's really, really nice. It's really fast, and then you actually have like a really memorable chorus, and it's kind of like a power kind of song, and it's really nice. There's definitely one of your more not repetitive songs, but catchier songs on this album, and a song I really hope, I wish could have like heard it with like good recording. Winter of '95. This is about a Jordan's, you know, 5-year relationship we had with a girl, and I'm just thinking, shit, the longest I've done is a year, and even that was hell. Well, not during, but just the aftermath. But this song's really, really good. Starts off with an amazing, you know, intro, and then you got this cool chorus, and then the pre-chorus is actually really cool with some nice backup harmonies, and then the chorus is huge, and then you just get this really cool breakdown. And to me, Winter of '95 is just like a good proof of like how good they're gonna get. It shows good structure and good vocal work. Broken Sound. You really don't know what to expect at first, because you just heard this like whole kind of dirty sounding pop punk mess for the whole album. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's their first album. But it starts off with this beautiful, beautiful acoustic guitar with Jordan singing. Probably the best he'll sing on this whole album. No offense. It was a good album. It was good. There was actually really good vocals done considering they were unmixed, but it just kind of has that high voice. He was really young then, and honestly, he's a great vocalist now. I just feel bad for him because of how high he has to sing in his voice. You get older, but it goes from like a slow acoustic to like kind of like a bigger song. It doesn't like get too fast or anything. It's just right, mid tempo, huge. His vocals are great, and he's just like singing out. Like, it's hard to explain like the song. It's like kind of on another level. It's probably one of the best songs on this whole album, honestly. And that's pretty much another really good one. It's like a nice 10 mark. Broken Sound. Never Sometimes. I honestly, every time there's like the song before the end of the album, I always expect it to not be that great, because those are usually the filler, but no. It had a nice driving verse and a chorus that made me wish that they could record it better, but that's all I really say about that one, honestly, is the chorus is really good. Passing Time, I'm sorry I skipped that. It's a really nice, fast, pop, punky song. I mean, I feel like that one was more filler, but it worked as kind of like a fun, fast song too. Passing Time. It was honestly another really nice one. Very, very punchy. The Goodbye song, I'm not gonna lie, only song on this album that disappointed. Bear with me, a lot of people probably like this. It's probably a damn fan favorite. I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me, but it starts off with this beautiful piano, and then you get just another repeat of a dirty pop punk song, and it's basically it. I mean, it's got a nice structure and all, but I was expecting something like a little more fitting. Like Broken Sound did it really well. Like it wasn't out of place. Like he sung with the little acoustic guitar, and then it escalated. But this, it's like random piano at the beginning, and then fast pop punk song, and then piano at the end again. Basically, what I have to say about that, it's not that it was not a good song. I just was really disappointed with how it happened. So my overall review of this album is, I give it about a 4.3. And here's my reasoning. As an album that just kind of got recorded, lo-fi, I'd give it about 4.56, 4.5 4.6. But the reason I give it 4.3 is because of the lo-fi. Like the instruments are fine, but Jordan, his voice is so high and squeaky on this album, and it's probably because of their resources. Because you can make guitars and stuff sound good, you know, simple stuff, like simple tricks using like the recording stuff they probably had, but Jordan, they really must not have had much for his voice, because he's a good singer. I'm just saying, this album really doesn't show how good he can be. So yeah, 4.3 is my general rating, 4.5, and honestly, if you like pop punk like when it started, where it was still kind of messy, this is definitely for you, and if you're a big New Found Glory fan, buy it. I love this. I enjoy it a lot, but I'm giving you an overall rating as a critic of CDs and albums in general, not a New Found Glory bias. Me, myself, liked it at about a 4.8. That's how much I like this, but honestly, it's a 4.4 or 4.3 considered all that. It sucks, I'm just kidding. It's really good. And people go by to say, like, this also helped the pop punk scene grow, this album. And the thing is, if you like, you know, if you don't like this album, and somehow this is the first album you buy, I don't know how you could. I mean, the ones on shelves are either like greatest hits or their newest album, but, you know, if you don't like that, give the next album a chance, because the band just gets better and better from there. And I really hope you enjoyed the review, and they even dropped the A out of this. But yeah, like I said, I'd recommend it to any like pop punk fan from like the 90s. Like, this came out in 1999, late 90s. So yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed my review.